Hey everybody, here we are with the brand new Yamaha MODX, and it's like a motif, a montage, and a DX all rolled into one. And we're going to listen to some sounds, and we're going to do some programming, make a few patches, and before we do anything, we have got to turn off that pulsating nipple. Into utility mode we go. And yeah, we look here for settings. Come down here to system. Here it is, knob brightness, knob flash. We'll turn that off. Let's get the brightness down just a little bit. Okay, there we go. Now we can concentrate on what we're doing. So many keyboard players are tech whizzes, and they'll take advantage of the motion control and the super knob and other capabilities of this keyboard. But a lot of us just want something lightweight with good sounds and presets. It's pretty easy to layer sounds and create a split keyboard with different sounds in various areas of the keyboard. I like to use two keyboards when I gig and set up, and I did manage to set up the MODX as a master keyboard, but it wasn't very easy and it wasn't very intuitive. So I'm not going to go into that in this video. But let's just start with the basic piano sound and adjust the EQ. The thing's always in performance mode. There's no master mode, voice mode, or performance mode. It's always in performance mode. And that makes things a little bit more complicated in some ways. But let's just deal with the basics first. Let's go to the piano. We've got a category search here. And we'll just take the CFX concert right here, the third patch. Now we'll hit the performance button here, and we can take a look at it. And we see there's 4 different parts to this performance. And I gotta say, I used this a little bit on a gig the other day. And I found it a little bit boxy sounding, like it has too much mid-range or something. So I'm just gonna come up here and adjust the EQ. It's got like a low, a mid frequency, and then a high. So let's take out some mids. Adjust where the mids are. Then we can listen to the comparison. Right? Is that the comparison? No, I did not do the comparison. Did I? Yeah, here's the original sound. A little boxy sounding to my ears, and then, you know, with a little bit of the mids taken out. So I could now store this as a patch. All I have to do is hit store, and we could store it as a new performance. And here's something that's pretty nice. You can just type in what you want to call this. So I'm just going to call this basic piano. That's a lot faster to type in a name than the old way. So now I've got that, and I've got a foot pedal hooked up to foot controller 1, and you know the pedal here is making the piano go up and down in volume. I don't really need that, so I want to disable that. Let's see how difficult that's going to be. Well, first of all, because this piano patch uses 4 different parts, I'm going to have to disable the foot pedal on all 4 parts, okay? So let me just mute 3 of the parts. And I'll tell you, if you have fat fingers, you might have a little trouble with this touch screen. Okay, so now I've just got the basic part here. Yeah, it's like a low volume part. If I hit it hard, it's going to one of the other parts there. So now we just hit right up here, and that gives us we can edit here now. So let's go to edit. And you know, we look down here, we see mod and control. So you know, the foot pedal is a controller, and you would think that if you come over here and press foot controller 1 that it would disable the foot pedal, but it does not. And you know, this has always been one of my complaints about not only the motif, but especially now on this keyboard because of some other reasons that you'll see. So we have to hit the volume expression right there. And now, yeah, the foot pedal is now disabled, but unfortunately, you know, these sliders over here, if I was going to, you know, try to adjust the slider, it has no effect on the level of the sound. So once the level is in there, you're stuck with it. Though you could hit this and adjust it this way. See, you can adjust it that way. So that's a possibility there. And let's go back in there and disable the expression on all 4 parts. Because what I want to do is I want to layer some strings. I want to layer some strings into this patch and have those controlled by the foot pedal. So let's see how we can do that. All right, so we're going to go into Edit. I'm going to take the volume expression away. If I hit this button, I can select another part, and I can select the 3rd part, keep disabling them. So select it again, 4th part, and now, yeah, the foot pedal has now been disabled. Okay, so taking a look back here in performance mode, seeing what we've got. Yeah, the piano is pretty much set. Now, let's add some strings. All right, so you just hit the thing over here. Now we've got all these sounds we can pick from, and the blue ones are like multi-part ones. So those are a little more difficult to work with. The green ones are like single part ones. So let's pick a green one to start off with, and we'll look for some strings. And let's see here. Let's use ballad strings here. Okay. They're pretty bright, and you know the foot pedal is controlling them, so I can play piano and then gradually bring in the strings. All right, and you know you can control. Let's see, go back to performance here, and you can. Oops, that's the wrong one. Uh-oh. Well, all right. So you have to hit 1 through 4 or 5 through 8. So now I'm on 5 with this slider. And I can adjust the level of the strings. I can bring it all the way down like this, or set it in the middle there somewhere. And you know, if you wanted to adjust this thing, say on the fly, I mean, you can use the foot pedal, of course, but suppose you just wanted to adjust it with your slider. But you know, you have to hit this button first to get to 5 through 8. Well, you don't have to. You could actually switch these 2 parts. Like if I hit the piano part here, it says copy. So I could exchange it with part 5 here. So let me do that. And now you see I've moved the strings over to part 4, and the other piano part there is on part 5. Sometimes you got to wonder what some of these parts sound like. Let's solo out that 5 there. That is the sound of the dampers coming back down onto the keys. Now, believe me, that is a subtlety that is going to be totally lost in a live performance, and maybe as a solo piano you might want to appreciate that, but you could probably eliminate that part and never miss it. Right? Now you need the first one because that's the basic sound, and you need the second one because that's the high velocity sound. I don't know what the third one is. Let's see what that is. Yeah, that's the high register up there. And I gotta say, some of these notes sound pretty good. But you get a few of them that the sample is just not very appealing. You see, it's better up there. You get to that G, it just sounds like a string is rattling around or something. But in general, I think it's a pretty good piano sound. And you know, when I went to buy this keyboard, I tried out all the keyboards in the shop. I mean, I was prepared to spend $5,000 on the brand new Nord's, whatever it is, Stage 3. And I just didn't like the sounds. I didn't think they were as good as what Yamaha's got. So I've always liked Yamaha keyboards, and I continue to like them, though, you know, we all have our complaints about them. Okay, so there's a basic layer now. Now, a lot of times when I play, I like the strings to be down here, and then when I take a solo, I don't want all the strings up there, so I can limit where the strings are by the note range here. So I see it goes all the way to the top, so I just hit the keyboard like that, and then I'll say, I want the highest note to be A. So hit that, turn off the keyboard. Now, Oh, I did it on the wrong part. Oh, crap. All right, well I'll just put it back. All right, I need to do it on the strings. All right, so let's set the strings. The keyboard, A, there it is. Now, yeah, there's no strings above the A. Let's see what the super knob does. It adds spaciousness or reverb. Yeah. And you can control that knob with a foot pedal and foot controller number 2. All right, now the second patch I'm going to do is going to be a split keyboard with electric piano on the left and several different sounds on the right, and each sound can be saved on one of the scenes. Okay, so you can have a basic sound and then set up different parameters for different scenes on that sound. So let's start with a basic electric piano patch here. So we'll go to keyboard. We're looking for electric piano, and let's see if we can find a decent one here. I want to find. Let's see. How about? Yeah, there's a pretty nice one. And this is just simple patch here because it's just that one part. Now you can add a little bit of chorusing to that part. Let's see. We'll go into Edit, and what are we looking for? Effect, part settings. I don't know. Oh, here it is. Instead of like chorus now, they call it variation because there's so many different things you can put in there. Delay, chorus, flanger, stuff like that. So it's some kind of chorus thing. It's already set up. So I'm just going to add a little bit of that. And I want more reverb, so that's too much. I'll say when you put reverb on a patch, when you're playing in a live situation, you won't hear the reverb unless it's a little bit like too much. So you got to put a little bit extra on there. Or if you're far enough away from your speakers and you can actually hear the room sound, then you don't need as much. I like to use a little bit in there. Okay, we've got our electric piano, and let's also disable the foot pedal. So, try the foot pedal again here. Nope, it's still working. Damn it. All right, volume then. Okay, so now I can no longer adjust that part with the slider. If I had the slider that on, then I can adjust it with the slider. And on the Motif you could do this, but I understand why they don't do it now because it's always in performance mode, and some of these performances have so many parts and it just would get confusing. So that's what you got to disable. And like I say, if you want to adjust the volume on the fly, just hit this thing and use the wheel over here, and that'll adjust it pretty quickly for you. Okay, now we're going to split this keyboard and put different sounds up here at the top. So just to keep things simple, I'm going to have all the sounds going from this note and above. So I want the top note of the piano to be this note. So I hit keyboard, hit that note again, turn it back off. Yeah, now there's nothing above B. So now I want to add sounds up here. Unfortunately, when you bring a new sound in, it just puts it on the whole keyboard. Even if you've got it set up to be up here and you've got the pitch lowered so it's in the right register, you almost have to mute your original part to deal with this. So let me go back and do that for a second. I'm going to mute the piano, and now I'm going to add a part. And let's start with strings, and we want some like lead strings here. So let's see, what can I find? I want to use a green one here. Let's see, what sounds good? Quick bows, let's try that. That'll be good for like lead parts on a string. So I'll select that one. We'll get back in here, and now we see both parts there. And I want to set this one up to be in the top part of the keyboard. So we'll start here at C. And now it's set up there. I've got the keyboard split. Electric piano hits here. Let me unmute it. And my strings are up here. And the strings are controlled by the foot pedal, but not the piano. So I can fade them in and out. Now, they're too high, obviously. So let's change the range. We'll edit, of course. part settings, I don't know where it is. Let's see, okay, general, and we've got pitch here, so it should be under pitch. There's the note shift. That's probably going to be low enough. Yeah, that's a pretty good range for most string lines, I would say. You know, you could go. Uh-oh, the pedal is affecting not only the piano, but it's affecting the strings too. We don't want that, so let's hit Mod Control, come down here. Am I on the right part? Let's make sure. Hit this button. Yeah, I'm on part number 2, so let's deselect the pedal. Yeah, now the pedal is only holding the piano and not the strings, so let me try that part again. Let's set up a couple other sounds up here, and then we'll store each sound under a scene, so we can just real quickly hit a button over here and to get to different sounds. So, you know, suppose, okay, we put our string lines in. Now we got some horn patches that need to come in. So let's do that next. You know, first it might be a good idea to go ahead and store this patch, so just in case we accidentally screw up here. So let's store it. Hit the store button. New performance, and we'll just call this. Let's call it EP, electric piano, and then we'll just say multi because we've got different things up there that we can use. Multi. All right, we've got that saved. All right, let's add some horns in here next. Horns, that would be brass. Okay, what do we want? I don't know. What about that trumpet section? Yeah, once again, now I'm getting all the sounds all at once here, and I just want to hear that one particular sound. So let me go back and mute everything else. This could be a problem if you're trying to blend sounds and find something that blends right, you know, it might be, but you know, can't have everything in the keyboard. So will that sound good? I think it will, but let's look at it again. That might be good. Let's see, let's do a medium. How about lots of brass? Now here's a cool patch. If you hit the assign button over here, it'll do a fall off. Let's try this one. All right, let's bring it up here. Let's mute the strings. And we need to set the range, so we'll do that real quickly. All right, there it is. Now we need to bring the pitch down. It's going to be too high up there. That's probably too low. Let's bring it up to here. Yeah. Sounds pretty good. We'll add a little reverb to it. I don't think we need any of the chorus there. Okay, seems pretty good. Strings. All right, now so we have the choice of either the strings or the brass, okay, by adjusting this knob right here. And that's pretty easy to just do on the fly here, but you know, sometimes these things can be more complicated. So we want to save them as scenes. So let's bring the strings up as scene number 1. About that loud. And how do you do this? I think you go over here, shift, and then hit the scene button. It says scene stored. So now you see the red light has come on there. So let's hit that, it should be right. Let me bring the horns up now and store that as scene 3. See if that works. Okay, so now, yeah, I hit 2, I get the scene, I get the strings. If I hit that, I get the horns. So everything is great. Easily changed to the strings. All right. cool. And another thing we can do with this patch is we can move it into our live set. So you can hit live set here. I've already filled up this one. You can go to the next live set by hitting shift and the increment button. And so here's another live set I've got. And you know, I check to make sure I still got the same patch. Then what you do is you hit shift and then live set, and then it'll allow you to just put it right in there. So now let's take a look at some of the other patches I've got here. I've got this patch for Brandy. And it's got all that vibrato on the thing, so I can put the mod wheel up and that seems to make that go away. Yeah, so I like that. I've got some horns layered in there that are controlled by the foot pedal. Now this is a patch that's really cool. And if I had my other pedal hooked up, I'd show you, but I can do it with just my hands with the super knob. Oh yeah, very similar to the old motif patch. The mod wheel gives you a little bit of chorusing, so you can do stuff like want that chorusing sound for that song. God, am I sick of that song. If you want some really rich strings, don't really know what they're trying to do with that super knob there, but it's got kind of nice. All right, I better not play too much of that or I'll get into copyright trouble. Hit the assign button, get a nice little glissando. We haven't tried out the organs yet, and there are some nice ones in here. There's some like split ones, you know. Distortion, of course, got a Leslie, of course. And of course the foot pedal works as the volume control. Yeah, there's a Hammond with some of the vibrato built in. So I'm going to give the Yamaha MODX 2 thumbs up, and you know, I'm not a paid spokesman for this keyboard or anything by Yamaha. I just, I do videos about jazz piano and music theory and classical piano and stuff like that. So I think they ought to pay me something, but it's just what you call an unpaid endorsement.